Howdy, folks. Today we're looking at Iron Man Annual number 10 from 1989 and Marvel Comics, Part 2 of Atlantis Attacks. The crossover begins to heat up as Lord Gore, aligned with the Submariner's arch-nemesis Lyra, sets about convincing the armies of Atlantis, led by another of Namor's old foes, Attuma, to sign on to his plan to bring about the resurrection of the Elder God Set, which Gore assures the Atlanteans will only lead to greater conquest of the surface world. Attuma has never been portrayed as a particularly smart man, and all he really cares about is another war. So if you're thinking Gore is setting Attuma and the Atlanteans up for a fall, you might just be right. Or you might remember the history of Set and the nation of Atlantis, an enmity tracing all the way back to Robert E. Howard. Anyway, it doesn't take much convincing to rally the forces of Atlantis, and that's where we pick up our story today, which ties in directly to events then ongoing in Iron Man's own book. In the first place, Tony Stark is in a wheelchair after having been recently shot by a psychotic ex-girlfriend. In the second, he's tracking down an alliance between the Messiah and Hydra across the West Coast, an investigation that just happens to lead to Namor still searching for his wife Marina, who turned into a giant sea serpent about a year before this comic was published. Namor just happens to run into a Hydra ship smuggling drugs, and we're off to the races. After Hydra makes the mistake of shooting at Namor, he makes it his business to figure out why, which ultimately leads to him and Iron Man in pitched battle with both Hydra and Attuma's army, caught trying to cross the Panama Canal at the same time. All of which leads naturally to the least convincing comic book death of all time, in which Namor perishes in an explosion on the next to last page. Iron Man looks for the body for a couple minutes before giving up. Happy 50th birthday, Namor. Now, not to bury the lead, but this comic is drawn by Paul Smith. Yes, that Paul Smith. Why? Who knows? It looks great. There's a backup featuring Andromeda, the erstwhile Atlantean defender, confronting her dad Attuma about the war. It doesn't go well, but if you like Attuma's family drama, there's lots more coming later in the event. The annual is filled out with two separate pinup sections, one of which features new pieces from Butch Guice, Gene Colan, John Byrne, Keith Pollard, and M.D. Bright, and the other of which just features Guice inking Layton, a fantastic combo that very briefly defined the look of the character in this era before Guice decamped at the pages of Doctor Strange. And in this installment of the saga of the Serpent Crown, we gain more insight into the prehistory of the Marvel Universe, specifically learning how the dinosaurs died off. You only think you know how it happened, but it wasn't actually a massive asteroid hitting near Chicxulub. It was a war of the gods. Gaia's decision to naturally phase out the dinosaurs in favor of mammals inspires a violent reaction from Set, and Gaia must once again summon her son Atum from the heart of the sun to do battle with the Elder God. And it's that million-year war that caused the Cretaceous extinction event on Marvel's Earth. This is 100% canon, which makes me wonder what their paleontology textbooks look like.